I made a whole series of videos exploring how the images and themes in Darling, Hot, and World are all connected. And I really thought World was going to be the end of it. It seemed like the end of the story. But as I was watching the music video for Dream, I couldn't help be reminded of things we've seen before. So here's a very short exploration of some of the connections between the lyrics and imagery in Dream and 17's other title tracks this year. Dream and Darling really feel like inversions or opposites of each other. They both inhabit this surreal, dreamlike space, but in Darling, everything that's unusual or strange goes wrong. Everything is breaking and coming apart because it's not actually a dream, it's an illusion. In Dream, on the other hand, all of the strange things that are happening are charming and enjoyable. Nothing is ominous or threatening. Nothing goes wrong. Dream even repeats some of the imagery that we got in Darling. For instance, in Darling, blindfolds were coming off to symbolize them waking up to reality. Whereas in Dream, Joshua taking his mask off seems like an acceptance of his reality, of his dreaming state. In Darling, at the end, we get the very dramatic falling with the members crashing through their floor and into this chaotic, dystopian world. In Dream, we get something similar, the hallway actually crumbling beneath Mingyu's feet, but there's nothing scary here. In fact, this is a delightful part of the dream where he's floating through space, enjoying himself. So everything that goes wrong in Darling is going right in Dream. And in fact, the lyrics confirm for us that this is not reality. This is something magical and different. But unlike Darling, which was a dangerous illusion, here we have a beautiful dream. In fact, it seems like the song is about a dream in two senses of the word. At first glance, Hot and Dream seem totally disconnected from each other. They don't look the same, they have a different setting, a different color palette, different imagery. But both Hot and Dream have an interesting lyrical connection. Hot is all about 17's ambition, about forging their own path and pushing themselves to new heights. Dream has a more subtle version of this. The lyrics make it clear that the dream is not just a nighttime dream, but also refers to their goals and aspirations. The lyrics explain how they have not only already reached many of their dreams, but also are continuing to pursue or chase them. These lines about chasing or being chased seem to reflect not only the dreamlike state they're in. Sometimes in a dream, you can't tell whether you are pursuing or being pursued, but it may also reflect a reality of their life as idols, where their success is driving them forward, and it may feel difficult to know whether they are in control of that or not. There's a very specific imagery connection between Darling, Hot, and Dream, and that is this close-up on a special effect eye. So in Darling, it occurs at the end. There's a close-up on Wanu's eye, and you can see an eclipse or destruction of the sun occurring, paralleling the destruction of their illusion world. In Hot, we see a redness, again in Wanu's eye, maybe symbolizing his passion or ambition. In Dream, we see the purpley light that came from the glass reflected in Uji's eye, and I think this represents their dreams and hopes as 17, and it seems very appropriate that now that this is being mirrored in Uji's eye. World and Dream also share a number of lyrical similarities. There's very obviously the same phrase, déjà vu of heaven. It mentions the listener's dreams, and World makes a number of dreamlike promises. But while World is making promises, Dream is the fulfillment of those promises. It's all about how 17's dreams have come true and are now their reality. All of the videos can also be connected in a sequence that essentially tracks us from day to night. Most of the Darling music video takes place during the day in this bright, sunlit landscape. However, we find out that's not reality, more of a nightmare, which ends in this dark, place. Hot takes place after 17 has escaped from that dark place, and all the lyrics and imagery tells us that we are in the heat of the midday sun in full daylight. And that's where World begins, in this beautiful sunlit day, until we get this neat transition to the evening scene. And of course, Dream finishes that sequence for us, ending with a nighttime dream. So while this isn't a plot line, Dream does echo ideas from Darling, Hot, and World. I talked about in my Sector 17 video how Hot is focused on 17's own ambitions, but World was something they offered to their listeners, to Carrots, inviting us into their world. And Dream seems to be an interesting combination of both of those. The dream in question is clearly 17's own dream that they have been working so hard and have been accomplishing. But at the same time, there are references throughout the video to the inclusion of Carrots. There's the sketchbook that includes Carrot Bong, and of course in the chorus, you, the listener, are included in the package of everything that comes together to complete 17's dream.